Alright, hey everybody, we're doing Hops Metal Show. We're doing a special with Danny Crider. Man, he used to play guitar for Wicked Trix and Draven. Now he's got his own band called Broken Pieces. We're doing a rundown with, he'll give you some information on what he's doing now, what he's done in his past. But before that, we're doing our Get You a Pool special with Dime Bag. Everybody out there, get you a pool.
Get your pool.
Dimebag ought to be proud. That's number 3 for me this evening.
Number 3.
Yeah. Which one's that for you? Is that your first one or is that your second one?
I think number 2.
All right. So get you a pool.
Twice.
3
times
times for
in
me.
his case.
Might even be 4. I'm not for sure. All right.
Bear with him.
Yeah. Bear with us. All right. So first time I met Danny, I've known Danny for a couple of
50 years.
Yeah, we'll feel really old if we get dating this too much.
Yeah.
But it used to be in a band called Wicked Trix. How did that all come about?
Who?
Wicked Trix.
Yeah. You know, I kind of remember that.
I remember seeing y'all play a couple times.
Yeah. That was back in the Young Buck days.
Criderville, all that good stuff.
That was back in the earlier heartfelt love days of music, the appreciation, the whole greenhorn. I think that all kind of come about. Me and Mike May was working at Food Line. We were lowly grocery downstack department boys. We kind of was downstacking the grocery truck and kind of stocking late at night at Food Line. And one was in the other one aisle and one was in the other, and I kind of kept thinking that something wicked would be pretty cool. Happened to be in the cereal aisle, and I said, how about Trix? So me and Mike just faintly, from what I remember, were just Wicked Trix. Nothing fancy. We just kind of went with that. And at the time, for us, it wasn't about the name or even the show or the face of what we was doing. We were just so hungry for the music. We wanted to play what we were hearing. You know, the bands at the time, you know, we were hearing Metallica, you know, even Poison. At the time, everything was just in your face.
Oh, it was awesome.
And it was just incredible. And we wanted to get caught up in that. At the time, we wasn't concentrating on writing originals or anything. We wanted to play what these guys were playing, and we knew somehow we were capable. You know, and at the time, you know, I was just starting out playing guitar, and, you know, Mike invited me over to his place, and we just kind of got together, just 2 kids that had a passion and a love for music, and we didn't give a crap what we sounded like. We just wanted to turn the amp up and create music, and it just kind of went from there. And the first couple songs we played together, just from then on, we were addicted.
Is that how
it hooked us?
How did Jeremy? I remember Wicked Trix was you, Mike, Jeremy, Jay, and Brian.
Well, actually, it started out we couldn't practice at Mike's anymore because his dad was going to kill us because it was too loud so much. From what I remember, I may be wrong, but I remember we had to find a place to make music, to make what we were doing, and the only way to do that was do it loud, like the guys we were seeing.
That's just metal.
And hearing. And we ran into Stacy Shoemaker, and he lived way back in Falks Run, so we got together. His dad had a place that was actually an old church, and it was vacant. he used it like to store a lawnmower or whatever, but it was huge. We were like, man, the acoustics in this place was unreal. And we drug our amps and our drums and stuff in there, and Stacy said, I'll play bass. And it was me, Stacy, Mike, and Brian. And we were making noise. We were just playing. We didn't give a crap what it sounded like. We were just trying to feel it out. And, eventually, being friends with Jeremy, I play guitar, and we just kind of got with Jeremy, and next thing you know, we were all making music down there. And it was going pretty good for about a year. We actually landed our first gig at what used to be called Joker's there on Main Street in Harrisonburg, which is the Golden Pony now, I think. It was called Joker's. And somebody out there still has a video of that. We opened up for Tightwire. And we had a list, maybe 12 songs, I think it was. We were doing some Cinderella, Poison, Metallica, all the stuff at the time that we loved.
Wonder who's got that video.
I don't know. I'd have to look. I may have that video. I have some old bootleg stuff, but I just haven't looked through that stuff in so long. But that would be a cool video to find.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, it was the only video I knew of at the time that we were actually labeled under Wicked Trix as the one at Joker's. And to be honest with you, it was Jeremy's sister Katrina that actually originally took that video, and she gave it to us, and there were a few copies made. But I have no idea. That actually gets me thinking I gotta look to see if I actually have that.
Yeah, because, I remember Katrina, but the only reason I know her is because she hooked us up with Kiss tickets, but that's a whole different subject. But I knew y'all was a little bit as Wicked Trix, but I know there was a transition, and I know Jeremy Ludholtz was a big part of it. When did it go from Wicked Trix to Draven?
That was kind of a blur for me.
And when you mentioned something about Stacy Shoemaker,
yeah.
So I'm guessing there was a transition with Jay Taylor in here.
Yeah,
too.
well, we got to playing with Stacy, and I think from what I remember, just things kind of progressed and fell apart, and just different things happening. I can't be honest what exactly happened, but we were pretty much bass guitarless, and Jay actually had to borrow a bass from his cousin Brian
It's
McNeil.
almost like Nicky Six.
He had to borrow the bass. I do remember that, and if I'm wrong, Jay,
Scold him.
please chime in on it. But I'm pretty sure Brian McNeil had a bass guitar he loaned to Jay. And Jay come along, we started playing, and it wasn't too much longer. We got a storage shed in Harrisonburg and playing. A few months into it, it was just like it was just us. It was me, Jay, Brian, and Mike. And it was just, we need to be a 2-guitar band. And it just, from what I remember, things fell apart. With Jeremy then, and which is sad because to this day, I don't think there's ever been any hard feelings. I think Jeremy had different plans at the time, and things progressed, and it might have been just as well for both parties.
Well, hindsight, there have been no LED, and a lot of people like LEDs.
So we kind of progressed on, and. It was the first time I met Travis, but after the first practice or two, it was some genetic freak DNA thing that me and Travis, after that, we just connected. It was like Glenn Tipton and KK Downing. It was like Phil Collin and Steve Clark. It was just there was something there that you could not explain. And, once we progressed into that and experimented on that, it was just like the possibilities were endless. We collaborated on riffs. Every time Travis would come up with this riff, I would say, okay, how about this one? Intro with that one and outro with this. Or, it was just, you couldn't describe how we worked together. And, and Jay and Mike would come in and would just be like the foundation, the palette of what we wanted to work with. And it just, you couldn't ask for anything better as far as a palette, for an artist to work with. And, I don't regret any of it. I mean, it was just something that you'll just never reproduce. It was like Appetite for Destruction. I don't see Guns N' Roses going back and reproducing that. We by no means were no Guns N' Roses in that time. But in our mind, we were, because the level we had graduated to by the time we were Draven in our area, and for what we were doing,
for what you guys done,
it was our biggest high. It may be the biggest high we will ever have as a musician. To look back and reflect, I don't regret it.
I mean, I told String, there was one summer, I wish I could remember what year it was, but there was one summer that you guys played every weekend, and it was like one of the highlights of my life. I mean, it was like we go out, and I mean, y'all were the ones doing all the work, but we'd go out and I'd help y'all set up, and it's like, it was just a blast. Every weekend, it was like we knew that y'all be playing somewhere. So
to this day, when I hear Whitesnake, the breakdown, what is that to Still the Night? When I hear that, I cannot for the life of me get out of my head of us, me, you, and Greg Keister, and Greg rolling the video camera in the middle of that breakdown of Still the Night. Dun, 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 dun. Rolling up into Burton when we were going to the show. I was going with you and Greg to possibly one of the last Draven shows at Travis's cabin in Burton.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember specifically that song playing in Old Blue, the Camaro. And I cannot listen to that song for the life of me where I'm swept up immediately back into 1995.
Oh yeah.
Heading to that, hearing that song. I mean, it's the power of music.
And that's what was cool. I wasn't in the band, but that's what was so cool about Draven's. You guys, man, were so passionate about the same music I was passionate about. I mean, just like you're talking about Whitesnake right there. It's like we was all into the Metallica, even the Propane. I mean, we all went through that stage, Rage Against the Machine. We all went through that together.
Or like Love Hate.
Yeah.
Our clique was probably the only clique or group of people that when we played the song Fuel to Run,
nobody
that
knew
that song. Nobody, and everybody that didn't know that song,
they knew it.
They were there. They somehow knew it, somehow sang along with it, somehow loved that song, but couldn't tell you for the life of them that we didn't really write that song because they loved it.
They knew it. They thought it was yours.
We tried to portray every song we covered,
and you did. Wasted
as us.
Def Leppard.
Not
who in the hell knew Def Leppard even did a song called Wasted?
Yeah, and people would just flock to it and love it and appreciate it, and
that's what I always thought was
that
cool.
That was the biggest thing for me, when we played like Lunatic Fringe, Fly Me Courageous by Driving and Crying.
Nobody would ever buy that stuff.
Who in the world has ever heard that? But you listen to it today, and you Google it and you listen to it, and you're like, this song is freaking.
But you know what they remember?
They awesome.
Remember going to see you, and they're like, I remember when Draven covered this tune.
Yeah. I remember when I started dating April, my wife. She never heard it. Who's Driving and Crying? Nobody knew Driving and Crying. But look, take the time and look up the song "Fly Me Courageous."
Oh yeah, great song.
That song is absolutely, in my mind, I could listen to that song to the day I die, and it would never grow old.
Oh no,
It has got a raw sense of just integrity in your face. Just beautiful song.
you know, and you talk about you. I remember The Office. The Office becomes some weird bar, but man, it's like when y'all played that packed house, Sky Chalet. That place didn't even exist.
Or the Copper Kettle.
Or y'all started playing Copper Kettle. I mean, it's like I was telling you, that whole summer.
Every time we play that place, Copper Kettle or Sky, where's everybody be the same? Like, what?
But we'd have to
Where
put out their
is that?
flyers, but they'd be there.
Yeah,
Everybody would
somehow
make it.
people would take. That's what you don't see nowadays.
Yeah.
People would take the time out to figure out in their own mind where they need to go to see this band.
Tell us the freaking GPS.
It wasn't. I can't Google this and GPS this. People actually did work.
We had to follow
to
the
figure out
instructions
where to
on
go
the flyer.
to see a band that was nobody, that was trying to be somebody, and just those days are long gone. But
they were.
We can look back and appreciate.
And they were some of the greatest days of my life, man. It's like, and the Draven thing, I mean, that's always going to be a highlight, you know, to record an album. I mean, do what you guys done. Miss Preston, I know the business card's there on front, but I put that in because I didn't want to lose it. But incredible album. I told Mike, I did an interview with him a couple weeks ago. I told him the stuff still sounds fresh. I hadn't listened to it for like 20 years, and the stuff is still sounds good today. You know, so these guys, if you haven't listened to this in a while, you should check it out because it's really good. But
I mean, the sound quality is kind of outdated, but
for the time
and for who we were, we wanted something a little louder and thicker as far as guitars. But man, when you go back and listen to it, if you listen to it with a heart of music, I mean, there's no denying that
when you walk away
that
at the
was
end of
some
the
guys. That was some guys playing and recording that music. There were some guys right there that were real.
But if you
there was nothing fake.
If you didn't,
about
if there wasn't love in the music, that's what me and Mike were talking about. Look at the length of the songs. I mean, you have 3 songs, 4 minutes. Everything else is like 7 or 8
I'm
minutes.
telling you, now looking at the length, you're kind of looking at it like, what the crap? But back then, we didn't waver. The love of music in our hearts back then, I don't care if we wrote a song 20 minutes. It still meant the world to us.
You know, Mike brought up a good point talking about length of songs. You know, we was dishing rap pretty hard a while ago. But, you know, we got to give Rats credit. Them son of a guns wrote many hit songs 3 minutes long. They got everything they need to do in them 3 minutes. Yeah. But I mean, that's rap.
And see, I've matured in that sense as to where everything that I write now, I keep a very mindful presence about what I'm writing. Lyrically, it can go both ways, but musically is what's important. Where you got to think, okay, we're going to have an intro, a verse, a chorus. We're going to have time to a bridge here, another chorus, and then an outro.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to figure them things in, because as the listening audience, they only have so much attention to detail.
That's exactly.
And if you're listening to a CD of guys you've never heard before, and you're listening to a song, it sounds awesome. You're getting into it and everything. Next thing you know, you're into this thing 8 minutes, and you're like, okay, and you're already pressing. You know, we're creatures of habit.
Yeah,
is what we are.
Oh, we are.
We're all flesh and blood.
Everybody's made
of habit. And what you hear on the radio, you may not like, Britney Spears or whatever, but what they're doing is an industry standard, and sadly, it falls to us cool people as well. As far as, you know, we listen to metal, but we don't like listening to 10-minute songs. some of us have an appreciation where we have that attention span, but the majority does not. I can't even, like, for instance, I can't imagine turning on the radio and listening to an Ozzy Osbourne song that's 10 minutes long.
Dude,
I mean, I'd be like,
well, and how sad it's
okay,
got,
Ozzy, it's time to hang up the old microphone.
to how much we've changed, and then I'll go to the next question, is the song Master Puppets. Me and you think a song's like the greatest song ever wrote. That's an 8-piece, that's an 8-minute piece of work there. Fucking great song. Master Puppets serves, but it would never survive today. I mean, it's got to be 3-4 minutes done.
Not in the mainstream, not in a commercial setting. It wouldn't, because the simple fact of the complexity of it, it's more of an orchestrated song. See, and my opinion here is Master of Puppets, the song, or the album, you could say, for instance, that was the catapult. That was the ingredients to what Pantera took.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when Pantera took the ingredients to what Metallica was doing, and they took it to their level. And then it progressed to what Pantera wanted to do, and that's why you see Pantera did not have any
they didn't have
astounding radio play or long songs or anything.
They took Metallica and shortened it up.
But they took their audience at the time, and the timing was the key thing.
Yeah.
They took what they had at the time and they ran with it, and they did that their whole career, and didn't falter. And that's something you just can't can't find today.
Yeah,
I mean, how many
I don't
bands?
know if we'll ever have another Pantera.
Yeah, how many bands you see it's going to actually do that? You know, you can look at. There's a lot of bands that's actually done that besides Pantera. Look at Alice in Chains. I mean, they come out supposedly the grunge era,
but they done it well.
But they come through that. They work themselves through the cliche grunge thing and progress somehow into the metal rock.
Because they was the bridge.
Fans.
Yeah.
And they come into that, and they survived even after grunge died. And to this day, even Lane Staley, rest in peace, he's gone. You know, they're still doing what they need to do to survive.
Well, even that, I mean, they're kind of like everybody else. Their first 4 albums speak for themselves.
I mean, for instance, you know, this Nirvana, Kurt Cobain crap. Let's just say Dave Grohl and the original Nirvana guys got together, and they got some guy to sound like Kurt Cobain and got together and somehow legally did a Nirvana thing. It would fall flat on its face. It's just.
But at the end of the day, Dave Grohl he's the shit.
Yeah. Well, I tell you right now, you know, Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters are 10 times what Kurt Cobain ever tried to do.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I don't mean to offend anybody, but
Dave Grohl,
he's 12 times.
Yeah,
a musician.
He's the talent. All right, so when after the Draven thing, you know, kind of run its cycle, Danny, I don't know if y'all knew, he put a project together called Broken Pieces. I guess go ahead and explain how that come about. I mean, was you at a spot in your life?
That was just a place. It was a long time after that void was not being felt in my heart or in my life, or I didn't have that musical outlet anymore. And I was at the point where, you know, I was, you know, doing the family thing and just trying to focus on, you know, what we as grown-ups like to call important responsibility things. But believe me, you cannot hide or you cannot run away from what God places in your heart, what places in your DNA, and that's a musician. And I got beating on the guitar in my room for so many years, thinking, this is going to fill that void in my life. So one day I just got the urge, I said, I'm going to put an ad in the Craigslist at guitar player, possibly vocalist looking for a band. Something positive, something different. And these guys contacted me, and I guess the last 5 or 6 years we've been kind of writing things. We did a demo, an EP, in
I have that.
my garage. It was kind of just
Was it
it
the
was
same as Draven Science of Life recording?
No, it was worse. It was kind of me doing my debut experience on computer software and how things are supposed to work as far as recording music.
Do you think a producer is an important individual?
And actually we have progressed abundantly. We've got more than maybe 3 albums worth of new materials, but we have enough now. We're going to go ahead and go into the studio probably in the next couple weeks, and we're going to record a full-length CD of all original stuff. And we have a guy right now that he's probably like the Bob Rock of our
area.
And I've heard the stuff.
Is it Bob Rock? Are we talking Dr. Feel Good Bob Rock? Or are we talking Saint Anger Bob Rock?
I had no faith at all in what we could do as far as recording to capture who we are, what we are. We drop tune. We are a drop tuned style band that capture that, that raw guitar, 2 guitar driven, just straightforward, no digital, no overdubs, no studio magical bullcrap. We just want to get in there and record who we are musically, lyrically, and we want to get in there and do it, and we want somebody to capture that. And I've heard the stuff this guy recorded, and it blew me away. The stuff he was doing, when I heard it, I was like, wow, that's what I want. So we contacted him. He gave us a base price of what we got to do for 10 to 12 songs per CD, and we got everything ready to go. So it's going to catapult. We're going in the next couple of weeks, record it, and we're really looking forward to something we can get out there to you guys that you can listen to, and be proud of.
Well, that sounds really cool. Are y'all playing out? I know when I went and seen y'all, actually, I brought up a Black Label coat, laid it up on your monitor. I tweeted that, showing some pride to Dime Bag. And this no shit, Zach actually retweeted it. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember Zach coming in talking
about it. I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, I know y'all did a mean version in this river. I mean, are y'all still covering songs, or is it pretty much all full original set list?
I've kind of come around to the guys that we need to do more cover stuff just because of the fans, the people. When they come to see us play live, we need to cater to, more to them and what they want to hear. Not that our originals doesn't draw people in. We've had people really rave about our original stuff, but I have a heart for so much music that like playing like our version of In This River. We've added stuff. We've added some Godsmack. We've added stuff that caters to our sound, kind of.
Well, when it comes to the end of the day, man, me and you, we go way back. We're music fans. At the end of the day, whether you play and I don't, we're music fans. And I feel like that's why I feel like you want to do covers. Because you're a music fan, you play the stuff that you love. That's what inspired you to write the originals. And that's why I kind of feel like I think you will always play cover tunes.
Yeah.
Because you love
Well,
metal.
I mean, it got to the point, it's been a couple months now, but when we found out, that we were comfortable doing more covers, we kind of dabbled into some Alice in Chains. We dabbled into, actually, we kind of started, we don't have nothing that somebody could actually get up and dance to. Do we really want that? Are we that band? And I'm like, well, you know what? It's music.
At the end of the day, you're a music fan.
And people's going to appreciate that when they come out in this area to hear something.
I agree with you.
So we wound up doing a Three Doors Down song, Here Without You. And the first time we ran through it, we were astounded we could even do anything like that. And it sounded good. And we were... put a check beside that on the list, and we kept going down and finding out we were comfortable at doing, cover stuff that we enjoyed playing. And we actually added, since Chris Cornell passed away, that I want to do Hunger Strike. And the guys were like, well, can you even possibly do that vocally? And look, the Eddie Vedder part, shoot.
Yeah, but we're talking
that was like cutting in the cake for me. I mean, I was good.
But we're talking to Chris Cornell.
But I was like, when it comes to Chris's part, you do the Eddie part. I told Jeremiah, I'm going.
I'll try.
And then
I'll try.
And then after about 2 go-throughs, I finally, you may find this hard to believe, but I finally reached Chris's vocal range.
And I know
in our tuning, it's, if you don't believe me, come see us.
Yeah, most people out there, I know y'all are metal fans, but Chris Cornell, I know he was talking about that grunge era, but that dude can wail.
We were about ready to ditch that because of that, but shoot, we got into it, and I found a level of confidence in my vocals. And the last 2 years, I've been vocally, coached and experimenting a little bit more in my vocals, treating it as an instrument, unlike I did in the past, is just abusing it. So I've reached a good level of confidence to where I can go in and train myself to figure out parts, and that's a part of being a musician.
Yeah, that's probably got to
do with it too. You gotta, if you want it, you gotta train yourself to do it, whether it's vocally, whether you're playing guitar, drums, or whatever.
Well, it's cool. I mean, yeah, you gotta play the originals, and anybody knows you live in this area. You got.
I did a bootleg video with Carl Kruger and John Hildbraun.
Oh, I seen that.
And Rocky, where I was actually doing some Accept.
I seen Balls to the Wall.
I seen Balls to the Wall, and I was doing it, and I don't know how I was doing it.
And Carl Kruger, you need to come in. We know we can get you for a video. I'm not the TNT expert.
I just repaired one of his guitar heads the other day. He was by and
Carl,
got it.
I think Carl's itching to do a video. We can't agree. He's a TNT fan, and I don't know a whole lot about TNT. But
he loves Priest too.
Yeah, and then we know he's a big Priest fan. But props out to Carl. I guess the last question, Danny, I got for you is, where do you see yourself musically in 10 years? That's going to put us at... Well, it's going to put me at 57. I don't know where you're going to be, but I'm going to be at 57.
I'll be close there. I tell you what, as long as arthritis doesn't get me, and I don't lose my voice, well, either way, as long as some part of my body is able to create music, I'll still be creating music.
Well,
one way or another. If I get to the point where I can't even push play on a stereo, I'm going to be...
Well, you can look at this, man. Ozzy, Dave Coverdale, and Alice Cooper just turned 70. Is that a bad group to be in? I mean,
Look
they're
at Jakey
still.
Lee. Look at Jakey Lee.
I mean, but just in vocalists in general. I mean, they're still making it happen.
How old
every
he
day.
is now, and he's still. I mean, he's still ripping it out.
Yeah,
on
I mean,
guitar.
Jakey. I mean, it's like, well, the whole even the Stones. I mean, even though I'm not a big Stone, Aerosmith.
Keith
Them
Richards
dudes are-
can somehow make a C chord.
I mean,
That's
if he
gonna
can
be
step
me.
on stage,
Keith Richards,
dude.
I'm telling you.
there's no end. As
with
long
his
as he-
fingers all like you see his fingers all wrinkled up. If he can still somehow make a G and a C and a D chord, that's going to be me.
Yeah,
I don't care.
So until he gets on, but then you got Joe Perry, Steven Tyler are still knocking it out of the park.
Yeah,
I mean, every day, Alice Cooper. I mean,
that's a blessing.
Ozzy.
I'm telling
That's
you, dude,
awesome.
that is a blessing to be that age and still be doing
yeah.
what you love to do, what you were designed to do.
They were put on this planet.
I mean, they wasn't.
put music to
They was
entertain
not
us.
put here to flip burgers at McDonald's. They was not sent here to, to work in some factory making boxes for some big other company. They were not designed for anything else.
they were pleased to please us.
There was a divine intervention. They were designed to make music, and if they're still doing it with their hands, their voice, their minds, some way at 60 and 70 years old, that's I
that's
give
impressive.
respect.
That's
Because that's if I can do that at 70 years old, to sit on my front porch in my rocking chair and still play my guitar, I consider that a blessing.
But to even have you come over and do this interview, we're like we're like pushing 50, and we're still talking about the same crap. Motley Crue, Metallica,
Yeah.
Rat, Ozzy. That these bands are awesome at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Which 20 years ago, me and you as brothers, we've been brothers for 20 years. We're still talking about we're going to the next kick show.
Well, the same
we're still
band.
going to the same freaking kick show.
That shows you, and we're not alone.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
not alone, brother. I mean, there's so many people that they influenced during that generation. There's so many people this day that that kept them going, and that 9-to-5 job that they hated. Day in and day out. This music kept them going. You know what I mean? And still to this day, they're looking at old farts like us, thinking, that's a joke. But they don't realize, how many hard times, how many things, how many experiences in life we had just because of the music.
But at the end of the day, even though String's standing out here in the kitchen,
Eating something.
Kick show,
What are you eating?
Kicks is bringing it every freaking day.
Oh,
Kicks, I mean, they've been doing it since the late 70s, bringing it
granddads,
every day.
a bunch of granddads out there rocking. I mean, and you say you can't get up and work a full-time job. Some of these people nowadays can't get up and work to make a decent living.
The money.
You got 60 and 70-year-old guys going out there going on, a 20 show a year tour from one end of the country to the other.
Faces.
Yeah. And I don't know.
It is what it is. But,
I
alright,
don't want to get political.
we got Danny Crider. We don't want to bring on the Donald Trump, get everybody stirred up. But, this man's been
Making
Wicked
America great again.
Trix, Draven, Broken Pieces. I appreciate Danny Crider giving me his time to interview. This Hops Metal Show. Peace out.
Much love.
Well.